The Motor Car Act 1903 Edward. 7, circa 36 was an act of the United Kingdom Parliament that received royal assent on August 14, 1903, which introduced motor vehicle registration, driver licensing and increased the speed limit. Context: the act followed the Locomotives on Highways Act 1896, which had increased the speed limit for motorcars to 14 miles per hour from the previous 4 miles per hour in rural area and 2 miles per hour in towns. There were some who wished to see the speed limit removed altogether. The influential Automobile Club, soon to become the Royal Automobile Club or RAC, was split on the subject. The chair of the working group on the bill was Lord Montagu MP, who took a moderate line supporting speed limits, but was opposed on this by the chairman of the organisation, Roger Wallace, who were strongly against any speed limit and described Montagu as a traitor. The secretary of the club publicly proposed a compromise of 25 miles per hour without authorization. Parliamentary debates were described as bitter. Sections of the Act. Section 1 introduced the crime of reckless driving, and imposed penalties. Section 2 introduced the mandatory vehicle registration of all motor cars with the county council or county borough council in which the driver was resident. The council was to issue a unique number to each car, and prescribe the manner in which it was to be displayed on the vehicle. The Act also made it an offence to drive a motor car on a public road without displaying its registration number. Section 3 made it compulsory for drivers of motor cars in the United Kingdom to have a driving licence from the 1st day of January, 1904. No test was required, the licence being issued by the council on payment of 5 shillings. The qualifying age for a car licence was 17 years and for a motorcycle, 14 years. The speed limit on public highway was raised to 20 miles per hour from 14 miles per hour, which had been set by the Locomotives on Highways Act 1896. Section 9 allowed for lower speed limits to be implemented after a local inquiry. Regulations were introduced regarding the braking ability of vehicles. Legacy: the Act was intended to last for only 3 years but was extended by the expiring Laws Continuance Act 1900 until a new bill was seriously discussed in 1929 and enacted. Both the Locomotives on Highways Act 1896 and the Motor Car Act 1903 were repealed by the Road Traffic Act 1930. A Royal Commission on Motor Cars was established in 1905, which reported in 1907 and recommended that motor cars should be taxed, that the speed limit should be abolished by a majority vote only, and raised concern about the manner in which speed traps were being used to raise revenue in rural areas rather than being used to protect lives in towns. Amendments were discussed in 1905, 1911, 1913, 1914 under the titles Motor Car Act 1903 Amendment Bill and Motor Car Act 1903 Amendment No. 2 Bill.